The UMAQ interviews on Media Accessibility Quality. UMAQ interviews Pablo Romero Fresco, University of Vigo, Spain. Why is the issue of quality important in media accessibility?
I think it's a crucial issue, and we've come to understand that it is a crucial issue, but maybe the reason why it's so important and what makes us think of it as such an important thing is that we maybe don't come from a place where quality was at the core of accessibility. I think for quite a while we've been focusing on quantity and meeting certain quotas, meeting certain targets, but quantity in a way is also an issue that has to do with quality. If we're talking about the experience of the users, they need subtitles and they need audio description and they need those services to provide access. So where quality sits there, I think it's kind of entrenched, is kind of merged with the issue of quantity, but at the same time I think it's very important not to only focus on the amount, because otherwise we may end up with what we have on the web, which is sometimes, in the case of subtitles, automatic subtitles. That gives you all the quantity in the world, but then issues of quality arise. How to tackle them is a different matter. So I think quality is very important, as long as we don't lose sight of the fact that we need to keep pushing for more quantity, more amount. But yes, quality is very important. Then we come to the issue of what is quality and what it means to different people and the subjectivity that lies behind the notion of quality. But I think quality should be part of the conversation, and thankfully I think it is being part of the conversation now.
What are the main problems and the paths to address them?
The main issues with quality, I think one of the main issues is what is quality, and that's an extremely difficult notion to define, because it means different things to different people. So what we have been looking at lately is quality of a product, for example. In the case of subtitles, which is what I have been working on mostly, for example, live subtitles, you may have a model that helps you to assess the quality of those subtitles, but then again, that doesn't mean that that quality that you have found in those subtitles reflects on, say, a good experience from the point of view of the users. And it doesn't mean that it is in line with what the producer was intending. It doesn't mean that it's bringing the experience of those who watch the accessible product closer to the experience of those who are watching that product in the original version. So there's all sorts of issues that we need to come to terms with there. It is important to acknowledge that there are different actors in that chain and that quality can affect each and every one of those. So the pathways could be first looking at the product and see what makes it accessible, or what makes it a good translation, if you like. Then what place is occupied by the users there, and how we kind of reconcile that, and then bringing the makers into it as well, and seeing if it does matter that their views are reflected on or are properly conveyed or accurately conveyed to the users. So I think it's a very complex notion, but I think that we are on the right path in the sense that we are at least trying to tackle it.
How can research on media accessibility quality strengthen the European project of Community of Equal Citizens?
I think this goes back to some of the discussions that are being held nowadays in this field of media accessibility studies in general, which is the fact that from the very beginning we focused on minorities, if you like, those who had sensory impairments, whether it was viewers with hearing loss, with visual impairment. That has helped raise the visibility of certain communities, and certainly of media accessibility as well. We talk about subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, and we know that most people who are using them don't have a hearing loss. So we are beginning to realize that many of these services are being used and are being kind of taken advantage of by a lot of people and the wider citizens. And in the case of Europe, especially with the kind of migration, with the movement of refugees, a lot of these services, a lot of the research that we're doing and the findings that we're obtaining are extremely pertinent and relevant. Now more than ever, part of the help that these populations need could be given by a wider notion of media access that thinks of everyone literally. And it's not just a slogan, it's just a reality of the fact that we know that just about everyone is benefiting in some sort of way from these services and from the research behind it.
The Understanding Media Accessibility Quality project has received funding from the European Union's Horizon 2020 Research and Innovation Programme under the Marie Sklodowska-Curie Grant Agreement number 752659. The project is based at the Transmedia Catalonia Research Group of the Autonomous University of Barcelona, Spain. The media partners are Fred Film Radio and the Media Accessibility Platform.